I was sort of confident in both of them. I mean, we see the predictions last week, and I actually got them the wrong way round. I thought Darryll would stop Jermaine, and I thought Asinia would win on points. It happened the other way round. I've got no complaints. First Darryll, I mean, obviously the English title is a big fight for him in terms of his career. I really wanted him to stop Jermaine Smile. I wasn't too disappointed with most aspects of the fight. I thought he's got to show a little bit more urgency. He didn't throw enough shots at critical points in the fight. He's working on new things. I spoke to Ricky Hatton immediately afterwards, and he's pretty much reiterated the same thing that I was feeling through the fight. And I was sat next to Frank Warren during the fight, and Frank was saying to me, you know, he's got to push a little bit. This time we tried to do it a little bit more technically. I thought by preserving energy but keeping Jermaine Smile working for the first half of the fight, Darryll could then stop him in the second half of the fight. And the thing is, he was behind on rounds after the first half. On points, I think he would have been behind, and he didn't work enough in the second half. He was too laid back, and you know, little thing. There was a moment where he starts doing a bit of clowning around. He wasn't in a position to clown around. Look, if he'd gone and knocked Jermaine Smile out, we're in a brilliant position to build him and to move on from there. It was a close decision. Different judges, you could have had a draw. You could have ended up even getting a loss. I thought he won it. I thought he's ahead. I thought he's won it. But you don't want to be nicking those kind of fights, because we all look through a different angle, through a different set of eyes. He actually shown in the fight that he could stop him, because he hurt Jermaine a lot more this fight than he did the fight before. I mean, he decked him, and also there's a second time where I need to look on the video carefully. He either touches down, or he nearly touches down by like a couple of centimetres. He like gets hit, his knees buckle, goes, sort of dips, and then he comes back up again. Asinia the Ghost. Well, for him, I can't fault really anything. Let's go first. I mean, look, we can't ignore what happened after the fight, but this is the thing. Right, I've known Sam McNess from the amateurs. Right, he's a good boxer. He's a clever guy. He's not the sort of guy you want to fight with him fighting with pure boxing, because he's a good boxer, clever guy, uses his brain. We wanted him fighting on aggression, on having a fight. And how we decided, how we're going to get that, is we have to put some little, dangle some little carrots out there. And he bit. He was fighting with his heart, and fighting with bravery, and with, you know, maybe fired up by probably raging from press conferences and things like that. But that's part of boxing, that's part of the game. But if you go in against guys that have come from very average backgrounds, and you're fighting guys like Sammy McNess, like Jermaine Smile, who had standout amateur careers, who were top level amateurs, who were cherry picked by promoters for that reason, that they know, right, they're in the bracket of fighters where the champions should come from. My guys were not in that bracket, and yet they've ended up as champions.
I mean, Darryll's, you mentioned last time up in Leicester what that did for Darryll's reputation. What did this do this time, Asinia's reputation?
Through the roof. I mean, Asinia, he's applied himself. I can tell from dealing with, you know, all these characters, I sign these boxers up. Very important to sort of, you have to work out where they're coming from, and what motivates them, what enables you to get the best out of them. It's not just me. I mean, they've got trainers, they've got motivators, they've got stretching coaches, they've got everyone, their families all behind them. We all try and push them in that, and me included. You know, we try and work. And as I've worked with him, I've learned more how to phrase things to him to get the best out of him, the best approach, so that he will. And Asinia, yes, he has been hot and cold early on, but he's come. I can tell you, he's boxed for like tiny purses early on, just because I could see potential in him, and to get him to 10-0. Let's get to 10-0, then we'll fight for a title. Did get a loss on the way. I actually thought he won that fight. Now he's gone. We've signed a promotional contract with Frank Warren and Queensbury, and he's been on the telly. The performance on Saturday was outstanding, and I have to take my hat off to what he did. You know, I couldn't ask any more than that. And his commitment, the work, the ethic that he's got, and for someone who's a little bit out there, you know, he's a bit of a he's an enigma. He's an unusual character, but in his boxing, certainly since I've been working with him, I've noticed his application to it, and his commitment and the sacrifices he's made, second to none. I can't ask for more. And I can't tell you how happy I am inside when I know a guy's come from that and managed to put it all together. I thought that the timing of the towel, that Sam McNess did take a bit of a beating in there, but not so much of a beating that it would have taken sort of 10 years off his career, or he's now never going to recover confidence-wise from that. It was a bad night for him. He will haunt him, because the damage that does to a fighter's confidence. And do you know what? This is the thing. Although he got beat, I could tell. You know what? This guy's got qualities. He's a good fighter. Asinia, you've got to understand, Asinia hasn't come from a big promotional back. It came from Hellraiser shows. Come on my shows, York Hall, Camden Centre, Elephant and Cart. You know, just getting him out, getting his record up there. He has to. I say to all my guys, if you're thinking, first meeting I have with him, if you're thinking of just sitting there at press conferences when you get your chance and saying, oh, thank you Frank Warren or Matchroom for putting me on your show, it's going to be a really good night, I'm really grateful for it, like, that's true words, and that's kind and it's decent. That's not what being a top level boxer, look, I only earn a commission of what they earn, and I want to earn as much as I can for myself, the same as I want to earn them to earn as much. I want them to be the richest they can possibly be. They leave at the end of boxing thinking, do you know what, Mickey really did a good job for me. And part of that is playing the media game, and that's what Asinia did.
Do you think there was no understanding from the fans about that? Is that what it was?
No, I can understand why they're antagonised, but look, you're allowed to have a bit of banter, that's fine. A bit of showmanship, gamemanship, that's fine. We had kids, pensioners, women sat here, guys getting punched sat next to them, like probably the dads or husbands that have come with them, who were not part of any trouble. And this was people that had basically spent the day in the pub, and then decided to have a fight when, you know, things didn't go how they wanted them to go on the night. Whether they'd have done the same if they wanted, I don't know. But it's cowardly. Yeah, and the guys in the ring fought their hearts out, and they deserved that night to be remembered for two warriors that put it all on the line. Had a good, entertaining fight, and at the end, there's only one can win at the end. But as soon as the fight's over, I can tell you, look, Sam McNess, he showed himself to me to be a decent guy. I think if I was managing, maybe I would have tried to prepare him more, because he seemed a little bit out of sorts. Like me and Asinia, we knew exactly in the press conference what we're aiming for, what we're trying to do, what we have to do. Because Asinia's never had an opportunity like this before on a big show, broadcast all around the world. We have to make the most of it. We have to make a name for him. I can tell you, we made a big, big name. There was a lot of West Ham fans in there. There was hundreds of West Ham fans in there, and it was a dozen, 2 dozen that started the trouble.
Yeah, no.
Then more got embroiled into it. But the majority of them, and I was in a pub with some before, on my way into the venue, I saw some that recognised me. I've been wearing this hat about like 3 days before the fight and ever since. I didn't take it off now. And they were having a laugh with me. So it's not like all West Ham fans are like...
No, absolutely.
No, absolutely not. Look, most of them were all right. There was a handful that came in there determined to cause ag, and they let the fighters down. Look, the fighters both, you can't fault them. The way they boxed was...
You mentioned briefly on the big stage. How's it been working with Frank and BT again?
Do you know what? I'm so happy we teamed up with them. Having worked with all different promoters, worked with them, they're extremely professional. The thing with BT has given, it's just propelled the fighters
back into the public
domain. We can gauge it, we can analyse our social media. When they fight on BT, it goes through the roof.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for? You know, you've got a platform there, and also they're willing to make 50-50 fights.
Yeah.
They're not. Look at the fights you had in that show. You had Larry Ekandayo, who I used to manage.
And Gary Corcoran.
Against Gary Corcoran, right? Great fight, very close. Yeah, Darryll Williams. Well, that was a very close fight the first time. They rematched. You had Asinia Byfield, who was an underdog. Oh well, next I think they both get a well-deserved rest. Then we will sit down, I guess, first with the fighters and then with Frank Warren and his team. I think, you know, both of these two will go up a level before they're beaten. You know, so it's critical who we fight next. We've got to make sure it's the right decision. But the way I'm looking at it, they're both good options because whichever one we fight, my guy's going to beat. My guys have developed. You know, one good thing I would say about having them on small hall shows, when you're with a big promoter, the big promoter has to be very careful with the matchmaking because if he puts a one-sided mismatch or he puts a fight that's not beautiful to the eye, that's a bit scruffy and they're clinging and whatever, the show gets ruined on social media. You know, they get criticised. On my little shows, I can do what I want really. Certainly I have dinner shows, you know, where my guys, they don't have to send any tickets, they just go box, get paid, get the right kind of opponent for them. And that's very helpful to developing the fighters because I want all my guys to fight someone that tries to hold them in their first 10 fights as they're coming up, because that by them having those fights there, they've already had that experience for when they go on the big stage. Right, this guy tries to cling me, I know how to deal with it. How to create space and get leverage in my shots. But anyway, look, I'm very, very happy. This hat is not leaving my head for a week. Maybe in the shower. And then straight back on again. I was very, very happy. What we saw on Saturday was a culmination of years of work for me, and that those fighters have actually taken what I've given them and not just expected it all to fall into place for them. They've harnessed it and they've done their bit. Those two on Saturday, they fought their hearts out. They both had big tests and they both came through.
Well,
very happy.
On that note, thank you very much, Mickey Helliet.
Thank you, Adam. See you again. Cheers, guys. Give us a follow and a like. Thank you.